Hey everyone, Hugo here. Just wanted to share a bit of my journey as a developing trader. Today's March 18th, 2026. I'm currently focused on trading the ES. I trade two micros as my main size. My goal currently is to go from losing to losing less, and I'm attempting to do that by working on the best practices that can help me track what I need to work on a day-to-day basis. Today I started with just getting a good trade overview done, which I posted earlier. So if you take a look at my YouTube, there is a video that I did covering my thoughts on the day and what I was thinking coming into the day, how I viewed the market relative to the natural methodology that I've learned. Um, but kind of jumping into it, I went long here into the start of the day, playing off my first hypo, which was uh, a rotational move higher while the market waited for FOMC. I thought this was a good RPB of DVA, development value area low. Um, and I quickly got stopped out. So that immediately had me um, thinking a little bit more differently. Once I saw this failure of the or this inability to maintain to hold this rotational intraday story, it had me quickly jumping to my hypo number two, which was um, a trending lower on the quarterly development value area, which I will show here. Let's see. So basically, in the overnight, the quarterly previous value area low was rejected, and I was basically considering that as one of my hypos for the day. However, I did assume, probably incorrectly, that we could rotate first, given the story on the monthly and the weekly, which were both rotational coming into today, and there was no, um, yeah, they were still, the story was still rotational on those particular time frames. So I had a certain level of expectation that we could maintain that rotation um, as we waited for FOMC. And again, that's kind of what gave me my first hypo, was playing off the expectation that we would maintain rotation, continue to be rotational. Delta looked, or it was trending higher during this time. Nothing very clear to support the IPB, or I'm sorry, the RPB here, or the long. Um, but I went ahead and took it, and was gonna go for just like a basic quick move to move trade. Um, my goal was to enter quickly and exit quickly. Was just looking for a quick move, nothing to stay to hold on to. However, that if we were to continue the imbalance, if the intraday was to go imbalance and join that quarterly story, I was definitely ready to move to hold for lower targets, or actually just kind of hold and um, basically a trade to hold. However, and that's kind of what I ended up doing as when the opportunity did show up. But before we get there, I did end up taking a couple more trades here. Around this time, started assuming that, this thing could potentially just break lower and might just, bypass, basically I was imagining the market could be like, forget the FOMC. We're gonna do whatever we want anyways, and that's basically what I was trading here. This was a very out of rhythm trade. It was a fast trending trade, which is why I scratched out rather quickly. And also, once I saw that time wise we didn't get moving, it also kind of started to bring back my hypo number one in my mind. I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe this could just continue to be rotational. Maybe just gonna test lower before rotating a little bit higher, which led me to my quick long here. But then I immediately scratched just because I, at this point in time, I recognize I don't like flippity being a flippity floppity trader. So I scratched that long, even if I knew, even if it had potential to be right. I just felt that I don't like going short and then immediately going long. Just not one of those things that I, I, I think is an immediate telltale sign of that something is not clear to the trader and that they should probably be sitting on hands. Unfortunately, I didn't sit on hands, and I continued to trade, and this time definitely leaning more towards my hypo number two, towards the short side, trying to join the imbalance lower on that quarterly, which led to a short. I scratched it, went long, scratched that, went short again, and then I was like, you know what, I need to call it quits. I'm just like it's not that long until FOMC. There's clearly not much going on. It's a doldrums. It's like watching paint dry. Just just walk away. Just walk away. I was very frustrated by this point just because I knew that I was being a flippity floppity trader, and I know that being a flippity floppity trader does not equal good trading. So that led me to step away. Literally just stepped away, turn off everything, and then just allowed myself to get a clear head. And then I just waited, and then I noticed, you know what? I think it's time to go check, and FOMC is coming up, so let's see what the market's up to. Um, and lo and behold, it was up to absolutely nothing. It didn't do much of anything, and that led me to then short because it was like, okay, we're doing the same thing we were doing a couple, pretty much all morning long. Now FOMC's over. Now I do think we're going to get something going. And this was a perfect IPB on the 2-day DVA here. If you can see my cursor, I love using the developing variable low from the 2-day from the previous day. To me, it just adds another extra layer of analysis to the not lower time frame, but to the intraday time frame. So I like factoring it into my trades, and it just adds a great layer of support to ideas, and also helps me deter away from certain trades as well. So that's essentially what got me into the trade. I noticed it was still a slow pace. It was just very dry paint behavior, um, even on this move lower, which led me to not hold all the way into the close and actually just, all right, just base off of rhythm. How far are we, and how much more farther could we go? Um, and so yeah, just not seeing that pace change or shift, or it was just a slow grind lower. Had me a little bit more cautious and had me exiting my trade out at what I felt was a good intraday rhythm rotation. And that's basically how I traded the day, and that's kind of how my thought process developed. Again, uh, this portion, the first portion of the day, was just so unnecessary, almost to say. But again, it's always a good reminder to me to that when anytime I'm becoming a flippity flop trader, it's best to call it quits and just just be done for the day, come back and get some clarity, because most of the time you'll be much better off, and it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. Every trade counts. Every trade counts. But that's basically my trade process for the day. Looking forward to what we got going on tomorrow. It is Thursday. Thursdays are some of my personal best days. Um, so yeah, we'll see what we got going on, and look forward to sharing my trade plan for tomorrow. Take care.